I'm Kelly and welcome to Kelly Loves Books and Movies. On my last video I talked a little bit about what I had read in May, and I mentioned there was one book I thought I might do a whole review on. So this is that review. The book is Tough Broad, From Boogie Boarding to Wing Walking, How Outdoor Adventure Improves Our Lives as We Age. Now, I might have mentioned that I don't know that I'm necessarily the target audience for this. It's really bright out. But I'm not the target audience either. Since it is sort of a personal growth or inspiration kind of book, it certainly is inspiring. I kind of already, I'm not really the kind of person who needs the inspiration to, be in the outdoors, do outdoorsy things as I age, even though I'm early 50s, so hopefully as time goes on, that does not change. Let me talk a little bit about I will rate things. 5 stars for me is like a perfect book. Loved it. Going to make the list of my all-time favorites. 4 stars is something I love. 3 stars is something I liked a lot, but maybe wasn't perfect. 2 stars is one that I mostly didn't like, but there was enough in it that it was worth my time. And 1 star is going to be something I didn't like at all, and I felt like, what a waste. I give this book 4 stars. She is a retired firefighter, and she's written a couple other books. One for girls about being gutsy, I think it's called, something like that. Anyway, she went out to explore how women are doing activities, the things they are enjoying in the outdoors, who are older than her, and she's probably like right around 60 or so. So the book is broken down into spirit, body, brain, heart. Yep. Spirit, body, brain, and heart. And I like that some of the chapter titles are Don't Act Your Age. And then others like Just Move, Learn Something New, Be Ready for Change, Make Waves Together. I was hooked on this in the first few pages because she talked about using a one-wheel to get into Yellowstone when she couldn't drive in because she didn't have the reservation with her. It was with her friends in another car, and I've wanted a one-wheel since I found out they existed, and I thought, I'm too old. But then, obviously she did it. And I have seen older people doing it, but older men. And I think I'm going to get one someday, not right now, because they are a little expensive, and I have other things I want to do first with that money. But she met lots of different people. There was a base jumper. That was the Yellowstone one. There were people who had never learned to swim and wanted to learn, and they were like old, 70s maybe. I may be getting some of these people's ages wrong, but I think the base jumper was probably around her same age. Everyone else I think is kind of older. A diver who in her 80s. That seemed kind of cool. Basically, have kayakers. Let me just go. I'll read the kind of summary. Caroline Paul has always filled her life with adventure, from mountain biking in the Bolivian Andes to pitching a tent mid-blizzard on Denali. She's never been a stranger to the exhilaration the outdoors can hold. Yet through it all, she's long wondered, why aren't women, like men, encouraged to keep adventuring into old age? So that's kind of what it is. She's finding all these different women who are adventuring in old age. And I like she learned in the chapter about learning. She learned to fly one of those gyrocopter thingies. She was a pilot, so it wasn't completely new, but it was interesting because it's a total different set of everything. She said everything was kind of backwards. The things she does this way, you have to do it that way, so it was difficult, but she did it. There's a group of older women she meets that go weekly and boogie board in San Diego, and they're like a lot, 70s and 80s. So yeah, it's quite inspirational if you need it. And I will probably need it when I'm 80. I will keep this book and I'm going to read this again when I'm 80. But yeah, to me, it kind of validated. There's, where is one of her questions? Oh, one of her, they're like quotes at the beginning of every chapter, and this one I kind of marked. It's just so sad when people say, "Oh, I'm 50, I can't fill in the blank. Try it anyway, who cares, you might be surprised." And that is from Deidre Wolonick, who began climbing in her 60s and summited El Cap at age 70. So, like, sometimes I think I'm too old to learn something. This woman learned to climb at 60, and I think climbing would be cool. Anyway, where was there another quote? Learn something new, and this is what I'm getting to. It's great to suck at something, is the quote. Karen Rinaldi, 55, surfer who learned the sport later in life and proudly sucks at it. And that is my story. I think I wanted to surf since I was a kid and, watching TV. I blame chips for everything California that I love. So I did move to Florida when I was 32, 33-ish, and was there for almost 10 years. But the place where I lived in Florida, I lived near the beach, so I could have, but didn't really have a lot of extra money at that time for lessons or anything, and even the things I was looking at in that particular area was all geared towards kids, like teenagers and younger. So I never did it. I boogie boarded a lot. I learned that and did that, and swimming, snorkeling, that sort of thing. But then moved back to Minnesota and kind of, started getting enough vacation time, started getting enough money set aside for vacations and stuff like that. And the one thing I really still wanted to do was learn to surf. So I was starting to look around at different camps that were geared toward women, and most of them are in other countries and stuff. And I did find one from a travel blogger in El Salvador. So this last year, in 2023, I booked it. It was my first year. Most of the people, it was for women. Most of the people who went on this were my age, maybe a little bit younger, and a couple maybe a little bit older. And none of them had really, some of them had been to the camp the year before. So other than that, they hadn't really surfed before. So, and it was a blast. We spent the whole week learning. We were surfing twice a day, in the morning and then in the late afternoon. I got to see a little bit of El Salvador then. It just was an absolute blast. And I didn't do so good, but I don't really care because it was fun. I don't think last year I got up more than a second. And yeah, I think I got my hands off the board maybe 2 or 3 times, and never for very long. So this year I went back, and then this year there were some younger people, not young, mid-30s, that none of them had surfed before either, and some of the same people from last year. And again, just a blast, learning twice a day. And I got up a couple times and actually went a few times, but I suck at it and I don't really care. I loved it. I had a blast every single day. The only hard part was, the worst part was the hotel's up on kind of like a bluff, and you had to take 144 stairs down to the beach every day with your surfboards. We had a buddy and you carried like this, but at the end of the day, after you surf twice that day and you're just dead and you gotta carry those stupid surfboards up 144 stairs, well, it kind of sucked. One day but one day it was just like a horrible day surfing because it was so rough and everyone was just exhausted. And when I got to the top of the steps that day, I mean, I was so mad. I rarely swear in the company of other people, but I swore then. But you know, you get to the top, you're fine, rinse off, and at the end of the night, we would always hop in the pool with a drink and watch the sunset, and it was just, you know, perfect weeks. I loved it so much, and I don't regret it at all, and I love surfing, and I would like to surf like every day if I could, and of course now I'm in the middle of the country, nowhere near an ocean, and I think about surfing 5 times a day at least, and it's kind of frustrating because it's not like I can go whenever the conditions warrant. But we are going on the camp again next year, but next year we're going to Panama, so that will be fun, something a little new and a little different. And I am hoping to go to Florida in the fall to surf some. Oh yeah, last year I wound up going to Australia in May, so it was after the surf camp, and I went and took a surf lesson at Bondi Beach, and I went to Manly Beach and took my surf lesson, and that was, you know, one of those giant, you know, surf schools that just churn through people for every 2 hours, and I mean, I didn't get up in it, but it was a blast, and I had a blast doing it. And I just want to say, if any of you all, and you're older and you think, well, I really want to do this, but I have no idea how to do it, there are people out there doing it, and this book, you know, finds people like that, and find your people like this. They're out there. You have the internet nowadays to find people. I bet you can find someone who will teach you whatever it is you want to learn. There are great teachers out there who, like my surf instructors, Jazz and Jess and Tiff and Manny, they were amazing. And, you know, given that most of us are older, and, you know, it made no difference to them. They were fantastic. And if you are looking for something, if you had something in your mind that you always wanted to do or learn or try, just go for it. That's my advice. And this book will help you get there. If you still don't know if you can do something, read this book, because this book is full of women doing things that you would think, what? How on earth could you do that? But they are, and you can do it too. So that's kind of why I give this 4 stars. I loved it. Again, I didn't necessarily need the encouragement because I already I'm already motivated to do such things. But if you aren't motivated, you should pick up this book. You'll get motivated. 4 stars. Highly recommend. That's it for this quick little review. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.